get people, being able to come and talk to that company.
All the city council workshop is Monday, March 23rd, order at 6 p.m.
I was on the news tonight.
Hurry.
The biggest points I made to get an interview.
Can we have a roll call, please?
Was the fact that that's the most important thing is people being expressed. And then something, then action happens.
Here.
I think that's right.
Here.
We had a back. We were one of the people having a back.
Yeah.
So
I'm sorry.
not terribly happy about
Make a motion to approve the agenda.
Yes.
Just remind you, you're writing the mic.
I'm not saying it be bad.
Have a motion and a second to excuse Councilman White. All those in favor say aye.
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 Okay, I make a motion to approve the agenda.
We have a motion and a second to approve the agenda. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay. No presentation. We got a discussion from the chief.
All right, good evening. You should have received my PowerPoint ahead of time. We've talked about it for a couple of months now, about bringing in speed cameras for certain areas in town. We, more specifically West Valley Highway, because a lot of new construction is going on over there, and a lot of, we historically have had a lot of traffic issues over there. In fact, the last 2 fatalities, going way back, almost 20 years, have been on West Valley Highway on traffic collisions. So we've been in contact with a company, Genoli Tech. Excuse me, I'm terrible at pronouncing this, but they do speed cameras for a couple cities here in King County, and we've met with them a couple times, and then they did a speed survey for us out on West Valley and recorded data for a week. And so I'm going to share with you tonight, that data, and then you guys have some decisions whether we want to even explore this project, we want to try to test some other areas in town, whatever you guys decide. I'm just here collecting data, and I work for you guys. So tonight we're going to go over the legal authority, local speed data, the safety analysis, policy options, and next steps. Legal authority. RCW 4663-220 and 4663-250 govern the use and allow the use of speed cameras for all jurisdictions. It's based off your population. A jurisdiction our size, 10,000 or less, can have up to 2 cameras based on certain requirements. So there has to be a safety purpose required. So we have to have some historical data that, hey, this is a high traffic area, it's unsafe, there's a need for it. We would have to adopt a local ordinance, and all speed camera violations are civil infractions that are not criminal violations. They do not go on your driver's license. They are civil infractions, so they're like a parking ticket. It's about the best analogy I can do. And we have to make sure that the ordinance authorizes automated enforcement. Yes, sir.
Quick question, is all traffic related infractions civil?
No.
Just the speed?
Just the speed. Just the cameras. There are a few other civil infractions, but there's level 1 and level 2. Okay. Yep. So this would be at the level of parking on civil infraction. Just what I said, population under 10,000, 1 general speed camera, additional allowance in school zone, parks, hospitals, or work schools. Program requirements, advanced signage. So if we decide to go down this route, we would have to put signs out well in advance before we started to deploy the signs. The RCW also requires annual reporting. Revenues are restricted to safety uses. So road safety, public safety, courts, to run the program, those are all allowable uses of the speed camera. And we have to have policies in place for privacy protections about the data that the camera collects. All right, so we're on to the speed study that the company did. West Valley Highway, the speed limit is currently 40 miles per hour. The study period was between February 20th to February 26th. They positioned the speed camera, if you get, all of you I'm sure are familiar with that area, at the entrance of Jim's Big Twins there. So they were measuring both north and south along West Valley Highway. Traffic volume over the 7-day period, 37,990 vehicles were observed.
Sure they didn't miss one.
Say it.
Sure they didn't miss one.
Right? Absolutely. So that's the number that came on the report. Speed compliance, average speed on West Valley, which is kind of good news. People are doing 36 miles an hour. The majority of drivers were for the week were within the limit. However, 245 vehicles were over 10 miles per hour. So that first number up there, to be clear, on the before it recorded a violation, the cameras were set at 39 miles an hour. So that means 49 miles an hour. So that means somebody had to be going 50 miles an hour or faster for the cameras that we were doing the measured test with to record. So, as a violation. So we had 245 of those that were greater than 10 miles per hour over. Basically averaged 35 per day, 1% of the total traffic. Which are actually not bad numbers, but still 35 people going 10 miles an hour or over, that's a good number. So these numbers didn't quite show up on my slide, and I totally apologize, but those are the percentages of people doing the speed limit. And then that max there, that was 84 miles per hour recorded at 7 p.m. headed northbound on West Valley Highway. There you go. Fastest recorded speed in that 7-day period, 84 miles an hour, indicates a dangerous outlier. So that we only had one of those, thank God, and no, it was not a patrol car, I checked. But anyway, key takeaways. Most drivers compliant, small number of high-risk drivers, potential for severe collisions. It's definitely a targeted enforcement opportunity on West Valley Highway, especially as the road construction, the transfer station gets done. More people are going to start using that as a corridor because everybody knows they're continuing to work on 167 for the next couple of years. That's where we get our traffic volumes. People jump off the freeway and decide to use West Valley. Everybody that's lived here knows exactly what I'm talking about. So, benefits of the cameras. Consistent enforcement reduces extreme speeding and extends limited staffing, improves roadway safety. Algona for years, and I'm kind of proud of it, to be honest with you. Hey, if you drive in Algona, you're going to get stopped, you're going to get a ticket. So so people slow down, and that's what we want. We want that enforcement. So this kind of goes in line with that. Considerations, public perception. Again, I kind of just hinted on it. It's about the philosophy, our philosophy on public safety here in town. What do we want that to be? Not a widespread speeding issue, which is a good thing for us. We don't have a lot of cars that are going extremely fast. I think it was less than 1%. Legal and reporting requiremements. So the good thing about this company, they're already established with King County District Court, and so they've accepted their cameras and the way that they record speed, and so it's well documented. They provide cameras for Issaquah, Redmond, Kirkland, Woodinville. I believe some of their cameras are in Kent, but I think those are stoplight cameras. So, and But they're well established. The good thing is they're well established with the court. They meet the legal requirements of the RCW. I did not put their information in here because I just wanted to do a broad presentation tonight and let you guys decide which direction we want to go. Policy options. We can take no action. We can keep doing what we're doing. Targeted patrol enforcement. We do traffic safety emphasis. But keep in mind, I have to keep an eye on the court. You guys, I've spoken to all of you about my frustrations with what the court costs. And, the last meeting I had with them, chief, just having to write less tickets. And that was the presiding judge's answer. And by the way, she wants to come here and tell you guys. Deploy one speed camera, expand analysis to other locations. So if you think there's other locations in the area, or in the city that you would like us to test before we make a decision about moving forward, I'm open to that. I talked to the vendor on Friday, and he's open to that as well. And he's also, if we decide to go down this road, he's willing to come in, do a presentation about the company, about the technology, and the privacy protections and those kinds of things. So those are the policy options. Next steps, I kind of talked about them, I'm getting ahead of myself, as always. Evaluate additional corridors. Request more data. Community outreach. Consider ordinance development. So, any questions, concerns, or anything like that? Yes, sir.
I'm probably going to ask a question I was going to ask is, so who monitors the photos and do they refer it back to the city to make the judgment?
Correct. They refer it back to the city. In 2023, 2024, the legislature, it used to be a commissioned officer had to review those. That's no longer the case. It just has to be someone with the specialized training.
So it could be anybody from Public Works, police.
It'd have to be somebody that received the training.
Yep.
Yeah. Yes. But it doesn't have to be an officer.
Now, would that be more than one person in case one person's not in? Or?
That would be my preference. Yes.
So if we got 35 people speeding today at 10 miles an hour plus, is there any way to tell, like 5 to 10? I mean, you give them a couple miles, you just know speedometer is 100.
Yeah, so the device was set at 9 miles over.
Right.
So they had to be going 10 or over. And yes, I would say, we would use that same kind of barometer. If, like for me, when I was running traffic, 5 or less, you're getting a warning. Right? 6 or over, you're getting a ticket. Right? So I would say that we would have that discussion, and by all means, your opinion matters to me. But when I set the policy, that's what we would go by. And if this council says, hey, I want it to be 6 over, I don't have a heartache with that. Kind of 5 over, I can kind of understand, because that's a touch of the gas pedal at the wrong time. But, again, I'm open to suggestions if we were to go down this road, what we said.
So there's no way to know.
But if you bumped it up to 6, just so you know, and I can share you the raw data, it went from the number that I presented to you, it bumped up expeditiously, because there's a lot of people, like I said, the average speed was 36 miles an hour, on West Valley, so there were people from that 6 mile an hour to the 10 mile an hour, it jumped up pretty good.
If you got 35 people a day going
10 plus.
Yeah, 10 plus, and you probably have 100 plus people a day doing somewhere between 6 and 9 miles an hour.
Correct. Yes.
I mean, 35 people a day, I don't know if it warrants all this, but when you start factoring in all the other people, then it becomes a little bit more.
But give me just a minute. I'll pull you up the exact number between 6 and 9. So I have it. I just didn't want to add it. I want to be clear that we were only worried about 10 or over on this, but he actually got it.
Yeah. I'm just kind of curious. 'Cause I would never do
So yeah, I like the idea of using West Valley, but the second camera, that really limits the areas that you can possibly use that second camera, because it doesn't fall within certain that criteria, schools, hospitals, maybe a cable work zone.
So what we talked about is getting one camera, and we can put it on a trailer, right? And have the signage and say, okay, we have a speeding problem in this area now. And then we go move the signs, we wait the appropriate amount of time, and we move the speed camera via trailer over to that area. That is allowed by the RCW. That was just presented to me on Friday as an option.
You'd have to word your ordinance to say, hey.
Right, so just so you know, we're really lucky in this respect, and I know I'm a little bit of a nerd about policy, but Zach actually tried one of these cases in front of the Court of Appeals. He was one of the first, another jurisdiction that our city attorney works for, was one of the first to put speed cameras in, and he's actually argued this, and when he saw this presentation, he called me and said, make sure you do this, make sure you do that. So I definitely have a subject matter expert when it comes to wording the ordinance and the moving forward, and on my team. So, because Zach, we talked about this for about an hour.
It's a pretty expensive camera if you want to just leave it out.
Right, correct. That, like I said, that option was just presented to me on Friday. I said I would mention it tonight. He's probably watching right now, going, why'd you mispronounce the company's name? But anyway, I would be, yeah. I mean, we can discuss options. I'm looking here at what the data shows, and then I will get it to you. Any other questions while I'm fumbling through my email here?
money.
That's really good.
I'm going to do a comment to the city council. It's, in my opinion, would be is have this fixed now wherever area you choose. That makes it safe for families and theft. And we just use our emphasis control the other areas instead of going for that's just not.
I like that. As far as like stable, in a fixed place where it can actually, it's just less prone to damage. But I feel like the flexibility of being able to move it right around. But I guess like I just go see, with the additional corridors. I don't know if that was removable or not removable part. Yeah, I guess it is.
Can I ask a question, James?
Yes, sir.
So, if somebody's driving down the road and they, let's say you give them a ticket and they call in and say, well, it wasn't me driving. How do you prove who's driving?
They can contest it in court, and it will snap a picture of the driver. The camera's positioned in a way that it snaps a picture of the driver.
I can vouch for that.
Yes, I've been through bike and I've got this, and this doesn't run.
Who's that guy?
All right, so from 36, actually for the week, there were 2,473 cars that went 36 miles an hour. There were 4,365 cars that went 37 miles an hour. there were 1,949 that went 38 miles an hour, and then there was 3,319 that went 39 miles an hour. So that number jumps quite a bit. If you say, okay, 6 over, we're gonna set it to 6 over. So that number jumps quite a bit from my presentation if you were to add in that area.
Oh, yeah, it goes from 35 a day to 3,500 a day.
Oh, yeah, exactly. So, we have to divide those numbers by 5 because they had it out there for 5 days.
Right, yeah.
So that would give you your daily average. But I mean, I could share the raw data with you if you guys want to take a look. So I guess my question to you after this presentation, do you guys want me to continue to explore this? Maybe have the company come do a presentation? We start talking about ordinances, because in the RCW, I have to do so many community engagements. And I was thinking about, if we're going to do it, let's kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Let's do a public hearing and consider that a community engagement. Honor the 3-touch rule, maybe a 4th touch to make sure we get all our community engagements in there as we move forward through the ordinance process. But is that acceptable to you guys?
Can you use traffic stops as a public engagement?
I wish, but no. So, I just want to give people as many opportunities to weigh in on this as possible. That was the guidance from Zach, so make sure we give them plenty of opportunity. And so if we have 4 touches and we have 3 public hearings on this at the same time, we're all good.
Yeah, my fear is that we'll get the same participation as we normally do during public hearings. And then when it comes out, everybody comes out.
Right. So if you have suggestions of how you want me to do that community engagement, I'm all ears. I mean, we could do like, hey, we're going to do an informational. I mean, we could take this process all the way to Algona days, and we make this part of the informational. I'm providing you with. We have the opportunity now. West Valley is going to be a big part of the future development of Algona, and we need to establish rules sooner than later. So it's not a freeway going through there. We're dealing with pedestrian access. I know there's been some talk of putting a transit center there at some point, and we want to make sure that we slow people down if we're going to have pedestrians using a transit center there. And so I'm trying to set the tone early.
They haven't even started construction yet on the village, so I think we're talking 2 years of construction.
Correct.
My personal opinion is to go forward with it.
Okay.
But I'm willing to vote.
Anybody else disagree? I'm enjoying the process. So.
Yeah, no, I'm in agreement for the 1 camera for sure.
Okay. You good, man?
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's all I have for you for speed cameras tonight. Thank you for your patience.
Thank you. Okay, item 6, audience participation. The City Council encourages public participation during meetings of the City Council. Welcome to comment. This time is set aside for you to speak to City Council on any issue. The Council ordinarily takes non-agenda matters under advisement before taking action. You are also invited to comment on action items as they are considered during the meeting. Individual speakers will be limited to 3 minutes each when addressing the City Council. When addressing Council, please speak clearly, audibly, and state your name and address for the record. Do we have anybody who'd like to say anything?
I have a question on what you were just talking about with speed camera, if that's okay.
Yes,
I'm Sarah Murphy. I'm at 142 Seattle Boulevard South. And have you done any cost benefit analysis on it of how much the system would cost versus what the expected revenue would be, or is that the next step?
Right. 2 things. So comparing us to like-sized jurisdictions in King County that have 1 camera or 2, they range in bringing in money anywhere from $1.2 million to to about 700,000. I have not discussed with the company any cost because I did not want to waste the city's time if the council was not interested. But when the gentleman from the company comes, that'll be the time. By that time, I will have some figures done. And just keep in mind, my motivation behind this is to try to reduce the cost of the court currently that the city has, and that's one of the approved uses for the revenue from these, the funds.
So the funds we get from the speed cameras, we can use to pay our other court costs.
Correct.
Is there any court costs associated with the speed camera?
Yes. But it's considerably less than what we get charged for normal court cases. It's $37.
A lot less people probably fight it when they see the picture of them driving.
Correct.
Even at 80+ miles an hour, you can catch a case and the license plate.
Right.
No,
That's a good question for the tech, but they do it. So, and like I said, I had about 35-40-minute conversation with him on Friday. I explained my game plan. I wanted you guys to drive the bus. I work for you, and I want you to, if you're interested, we're going to move forward, and we're going to get. This is just me.